welcome back to episode 6 of Rise of the Wolves, our Total FIFA Career Mode career for FC24 here at the Pitchside Pub. And you can see we are in 11th place, which is a positive spot to be in. Feels like we're almost safe from relegation, but we cannot score. We are last in the league in goals scored, 15 goals in 17 Premier League games. That's not going to get it done. We need help, but we have no money. We spent all of our money in the summer transfer window. So yes, there is a transfer window coming, but we don't have any money. The question is, will that change? We do still have some valuable assets on the team that could bring in some money, but they've got to have some interest. We have to hope we get some offers from some other clubs to raise some funds to help out this offense because it's not getting the job done. While we're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me down below. Get in the comment section, let me know what you think we ought to do about this goal scoring problem, and of course follow us on Twitter at Pitchside Pub. We've got 4 games left in the month, and so we're going to get started in the Carabao Cup. We have had a good run in the Carabao Cup, and we've been able to score in the Carabao Cup, and it's almost like it's a different, well, it is a completely different competition, but it's almost like the difficulty levels are different. Now, we're playing against Bournemouth. That's a Premier League team, so they should offer some competition. As you see Sergio Gomez rip a good-looking shot, he remains scoreless on the season in all competitions. He was one of our big signings from over the summer, and he just has not been able to contribute on offense at all. Antonio Silva, normally a defender, but on the ensuing kick, he gets a decent shot off, still cannot convert. 33rd minute, still nothing. Back on the attack, Josh Doig trying to get some build-up, up ahead to Archie Gray, a youngster who's getting a start here as the schedule gets crowded. Talles Magno with a great finish, finds him over the front, the assist from Silva. Magno has been a guy who has contributed, but not a ton. He plays a lot off the bench, plays in these cup games. That's a great finish from him with his weak foot. He's a righty. Good strong strike from the left foot, and that's an early goal. 14 goals in these Carabao Cup games, not for Magno, but across the board. We are scoring in the Carabao Cup. Some of the competition has been lesser. We've played against Crewe Alexandra and Wrexham, but we also scored against Tottenham, and now we got a goal here. Oh, and a red card. Look at this. We're going to get a red card. He is definitely getting booted for that. Terrible tackle by Philip Billing on Fabio Silva. As we're talking about goals, now we go a man up, and that has to help, you'd think, except every time we go a man up in FC24, the other team comes back and scores within a few minutes typically, and right away you see Bournemouth, yep, absolutely, every time it's some sort of glitch in the game where every time you go a man up, the other team gets a lot better. The difficulty changes, or they go more on the attack. As you see Lloyd Kelly there putting a good ball in past Chevalier, a short man goal to tie it up 1-1. And at this point, it's almost a negative to go up a man and see the other team get a red card because every single time it results in a goal. But we've still got a little bit of time left to break this draw, and Onyedika, with a great finish. Look at this from the top of the box. Rafael Onyedika, he does not score a lot. He's been playing as a defensive midfielder, as a wingback, but look at this little curved shot he puts on, and that's the second one of those he's had this season. A beautiful goal from outside the box, and that's going to be the winner for Wolves. A late goal from Onyedika with a 2-1 victory over Bournemouth as we continue to impress in the Carabao Cup and advance in that tournament. It's hard to believe, but that gets us through past the quarterfinals into the semis. And so, that's not one of our objectives, the Carabao Cup. It's not going to get us any points with the board there, but it's nice to see that we can, in fact, score and advance in a tournament where we have played well, and now we have beaten 2 other Premier League teams in that tournament. We're going to take on Newcastle in the semis in January, and that's going to be a home-and-home type contest, so that's going to make the schedule crowded as the FA Cup starts in January as well. But hey, we want to go as far as we can in this tournament. This is a great thing to see. Of course, we cannot do it at the expense of the Premier League. We're sitting in 11th, but we're only 3 points clear of relegation. The bottom half of the table is incredibly crowded, and we've got some games coming up. Taking on Chelsea next. They sit in the 7th spot only 3 days later. You see how crowded the schedules, the fixtures are this time of year, coming up on that big Boxing Day match. So we're looking at 4 games in a short period of time here in this video, and that meant a lot of rotation. You saw some of the backups playing against Bournemouth. We're still able to get the win, and now we've got a relatively fit squad against Chelsea, which is a good thing because they are going to be on the attack. This Chelsea team is better than the real-life version. They're sitting, near the top of the table, fighting for a European spot, and they're actually somewhat competent, unlike real life. So you see Chevalier being put to the test early and often. Luckily, he has been up to the test more often than not this year. First half, we only had 1 shot on goal. If that doesn't really explain the offensive troubles, I don't know what does. But here's a great pass from Kiergaard to Emile Smith-Rowe. Oh, a point-blank shot right at Sanchez. Good save, but right at him. It's a combination of not getting enough opportunities and then not converting the ones we get, like this. Adam Holozic looking for Onyedika, the hero last game, and he just biffs that one wide. Not a lot of threat on that one. 71st minute, still nothing. The defense is holding up. Can they continue to hold up? Because that's been the key. Jackson just wide. Looks like he has a decent look. Chevalier does not quite have the net covered. Would have been a great goal, but it's just wide. That's one of Chelsea's better threats so far. We've played good defense. We've played terrible offense. You're not seeing a lot of excitement in this game. 88th minute, still scoreless. Can we hold on for a draw? Can we get a point? Chevalier says yes. He's not going to let it happen on his watch. He worked his tail off to get the clean sheet. You'd think that would get us 3 points. It does not. It gets us 1 point, but we'll take a point against Chelsea. If you said going in, would you take a point against Chelsea? Absolutely. You'd sort of like it to have been a 2-2 game, not a 0-0 game, but hey, we'll take it as we move on a few days later, heading to Brentford. Now, we have not scored in our last 2 Premier League matches. This is starting to become a problem. We've already been one of the lowest scoring teams in the league, but we can't go out there and just not score. And we're in 12th, they're in 16th. They're not a high-scoring team either. They're 19 goals in 18 games. We're 15. It's not a good offensive matchup here, and that's why you see the goal going just wide. But we're going to have to fight tooth and nail. Hopefully we can scrap maybe a 1-0 victory here, find ourselves an opportunity. In the 19th minute, another wild tackle. Is this another red card? Yes, it is. Mbumbo with the red card. Just a ridiculous tackle. That's the right call, getting him out of there. What a ridiculous tackle that is. He didn't need to do that. But again, I don't know that the red cards help us that much. Every time we get a red card, the other team just turns it on to a different level, goes on the attack as you see them here, and it has not benefited us this season. And there you go. That's exactly what we're talking about. Look at that. The rebound off the post, off of Chevalier, right back and in the goal. And all of a sudden, it's another short-handed goal, and we're down 1-0. I can't tell you how many short-handed goals we've given up this season because the red cards just simply don't seem to help you. I'd almost rather play at even strength. Back on the attack, trying to get the equalizer. Holozic just wide. We're not getting a lot of opportunities here. Weird angle there. Looks like it might have been deflected, but either way, not going to get the job done as it remains 1-0. That's one of our better opportunities so far this game, which should tell you everything you need to know. 86th minute, looking for something. Sergio Gomez, well, if that doesn't sum it up, that is the Sergio Gomez story this season. He has been terrible on the offensive attack. He's a good player, but he's not contributing on offense, and that's going to do it 1-0. A really bad loss considering we were up a man for most of the game, and that's going to drop us to 15th. You see, we're still 3 points clear of relegation, but not where we'd like to be. And now 15 goals in 19 games, 3 games scoreless in the Premier League. We cannot put the ball in the net, and we have one more game to go before January rolls around. We've got an FA Cup game. We've got those 2 Carabao Cup home and homes with Newcastle, plus, of course, the Premier League. The schedule's getting crowded. We're going to need depth. We're going to need goals. We've got no money, and we're 3 points clear of relegation. What is going to happen? It's getting tense. And now we are headed to Everton, and they've got Hwai Hee-chan, who was one of our better players that we sold off this summer to get a little bit younger. But is that a reason why we're not scoring? We would love to have his services right now, but he allowed us to get players like Mateusz Kiergaard, who has been fantastic, but was stopped there. But that's a good look, perhaps a good sign of things to come, that we are on the attack, creating opportunities. Emile Smith-Rowe, point-blank range. Jordan Pickford up to the task. At least we are getting opportunities. At least we're getting shots on goal. Perhaps a sign of things to come. Turnovers. Can't clear it. Back to Beto. Dangerous position. Oh, great move. Oh, fires high. We get away with one. A great move by Beto. He just fires high over the net. Towards the end of the first half, in the 49th minute. No, this is early in the second half. Looking for an opportunity. Sergio Gomez to Tallis Magno. He scored recently. Can he find the net again? No, directly into Pickford. But again, we are getting some opportunities at the very least. That is, I'm sad to say, a positive development. Josh Doig trying to clear it to Emile Smith-Rowe, looking for Gomes, trying to find a man. Oh, a turnover, a deathly turnover. Cannot have that. You know that's going in. Beto for the goal, giving Everton a 1-0 lead. Chevalier had no chance. He was left completely out to dry. A well-earned goal for Everton, who have worked hard this game to get something. We cannot get anything. Trying to stop something here. Another goal. Oh, it's Chan. Oh, he gets the second goal of the game for Everton against his former team. That is just twisting the knife when we cannot score, and what would have been probably one of our better, if not our best goal scorer, scores against us to make it 2-0, and we're really just not able to do anything in this game. As you see, Everton put in just an insurance goal there, make it 3-0. The wheels have come off a little bit on defense, but really, we had some opportunities on offense in this match and just could not put them in. Pickford made some nice saves. A couple of these shots were just right at him, but we're just not able to convert as Sean Dyche and his guys celebrate a 3-0 road win coming into the Molineux and really just taking it to us. You see everything in the second half. We played good defense in the first half. Wheels came off in the second half, and the offense remains non-existent. 4 straight games without a goal dropped us from 11th to 16th. We are 2 points clear, and apparently we can only score in the Carabao Cup. And you see the table looks pretty realistic. City, Spurs, Liverpool, United. Well, that's not terribly realistic, but I get it. Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, Villa. I mean, those are probably what ought to be the best 8 teams. And then you see this mess down at the bottom of the table between 18th and Burnley and 13th and Bournemouth. You've got 4 points, and we have just been yo-yoing back and forth in that mix all season, unable to really get far enough clear to feel safe. But the transfer window is coming. We can go get help. Again, we spent our money. We got $300,000 to work with, except we have been getting offers for the last month and a half for some of our higher value players who have not played this season. If you remember, we said we would only play players who were 22 or younger this season and had a overall potential of 80 or higher. So we've got a lot of guys with some value on our bench still who did not gain any interest over the summer. So now we are getting interest from them for this transfer window, and we do have 4 sales that did take place. Mario Lemina going to Newcastle for $12 million. We're going to see him again soon as we face them in the Carabao Cup. Craig Dawson going over to Fulham for 3.6 million euros. Not a guy who was going to play a lot either way. Pablo Sarabia going to Leverkusen for almost 12 million euros. So that gives us a nice chunk of change to work with. And then backup keeper Daniel Bentley going for 2.5 million over to Bologna. So all of these combined mean we have some shopping we can do. We can actually add some pieces. We've got some scouting that had to take place, and we've got 29 million euros that we can work with, and there's a couple different ways we can do this. We could either go after one really big contributor, or we could spread it out over 4 or 5 guys. We got to make sure we're going to get players that are going to play and make an impact, and we obviously need help on the offensive side of the ball. Our defense has been pretty good. I've got 4 solid center backs. The wing backs have been good, so we really need to spend this on the offensive side of the ball, and I think we're going to take a little hybrid approach. I'm not going to go get one player for almost 30 million. We're going to try and get 2 or 3 in that 10 to 15 million range and see if we can't get ourselves some depth as well as some guys who can contribute. So we've got one player, first off, that can play in the midfield, and that's Quentin Timber, and we're getting him from Feyenoord for a little under 11 million, and he's going to be able to play an attacking midfield role, a central midfield role. He's a 76, which puts him in the starters for us. Second guy we're going after is going to be Wilfred Gnonto from Leeds. He's a speedster. He can be an attacking midfielder, $12 million, looking to get out of the championship, back in the Premier League, and he's going to be able to make an impact for us. Last move is one that only works in FIFA, would not work in real life, but we got Gerald Hato from Ajax, whose stock has soared this season as he has been fantastic for Ajax. We got him for $2 million because he's still only a 69 overall. He has gotten a lot better in real life, but not yet in the game, so that's sort of an unrealistic one, but for us it's not that big of an impact, but a little more depth on the defense, a ton of potential to go along with Gnonto and Quentin Timber. So we have reinforced the roster for what is proving to be a busy January, and we've done it with 2 hopefully impact offensive players, so we can finally get the goal scoring that we're going to need to compete in the Premier League. We got a little bit of budget left, probably not going to use that. We'll put it towards scouts and youth scouts and signing some youth players. We don't want to spend every single penny we have. We also could end up selling more players in January, so if that happens, maybe we go back out into the transfer market. But we've also got some depth now, and that's going to allow us to rotate players and have, maybe 1.5 full first teams, which is fantastic as we now face 3 competitions still in the Carabao Cup. You see the FA Cup about to start with Preston North End in the round 3 draw. That's one where we can rotate in some of these guys, maybe test out the new guys, and that'll be how we start our next video for episode 7. We are also going to debut a new formation in our next video, so stay tuned for that. Thanks as always for joining us here on Rise of the Wolves at Total FIFA Career Mode. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me down below. Get in that comment section. What do you think about our acquisitions? Did we get the right ones? How's the impact going to be? And of course, follow us on Twitter at Pitchside Pub. Thanks as always for joining us here on Total FIFA Career Mode at the Pitchside Pub.